Before Grevin can defend himself, his secretary bursts in. "Mayor, the capital's sending the director of the National Tax Service, Gale Perron himself." Grevin freezes. Everyone in the Empire knows that name, the demon of the tax office. And worst of all, he's Seal's grandfather. Seal just smiles. "Do you know my family motto, Mayor? Repay kindness tenfold, and debt 100. Word even began. Our scene, the mountain fortress. Our captive heroes have been led inside by the trembling, urine-soaked traitor Urhan. And oh, the reception committee is just wonderful. Undead. A whole army of them rising from the ground, clattering and moaning. It's not a bandit hideout, it's a necromancer's tea party. And the mana? That familiar, vile, devil-tainted dark mana that our dear Kieran knows all too well from his cursed past life. It's not just any mage up here, it's a dark mage. The very same flavor of evil that served the malevolent emperor. The connections are being made, my darlings. The web of intrigue is stretching all the way back to the main plot. But is our magnificent protagonist worried? Terrified? Please? He's excited. Now this is what makes the first mission fun, he says, with a smirk on his face. The absolute madman. He's facing down a horde of the undead and a powerful dark mage, and he's treating it like a trip to an amusement park. And poor Lucien, he's just witnessed his first massacre, courtesy of his monstrous cousin, and now he's being handed his sword to face a literal army of skeletons. The character development is happening at breakneck speed. Will he rise to the occasion, or will he finally need to change those trousers? The stakes have been raised to a glorious new level. This is no longer about simple bandits. This is about a dark conspiracy with ties to the demons of old. What is a dark mage doing here? Who is truly pulling the strings? The scene. The bandit fortress, our boys are surrounded by skeletons and highly trained deserters. Archers on the walls, a sneering boss on the balcony. It's a classic outnumbered and outgunned scenario. And how does our magnificent protagonist react? He grabs the traitorous Urhan, puts a sword to his neck, and tries to take a hostage. The audacity, the sheer, unmitigated gall of a noble child resorting to bandit tactics. Even his cousin Lucien is stunned. But of course, the cold-hearted boss doesn't care. A hostage is only useful if they have value, he says, dismissing poor, useless Uran. A brutal lesson in realpolitik. So what's plan B? Why, the simplest plan of all. We take down the boss. Cue the mana explosion! Kieran unleashes his azure mana, and the entire fortress learns why you don't mess with a Lustin. He doesn't just fight, he performs a ballet of obliteration. He uses an ocean wave technique to clear a path through the undead, charges the boss in under 10 seconds, and severs his hand before the man can even blink. The power, the precision, the petty smirk he gives while doing it, it's a masterpiece of violence. But the true plot twist, the arrival of the magnificent Lady Seraphina. She doesn't just show up, she makes an entrance, exploding through the iron gate, holding the severed head of the dark mage like a gruesome trophy. She declares their mission a failure because they missed the most crucial evidence. The dark mage is dead, the lead is cold, and their first mission is officially a bust. The look on the boys' faces, Lucien's proud flush of victory instantly wiped away. Kieran's shameless shrug as he tries to justify his disastrous hostage scheme. The tension is exquisite. And Seraphina's final line? Things have gotten complicated. Understatement of the century, darling. A dark mage connected to demons operating right next to the Leston border? This isn't a simple bandit cleanup. It's the first thread of a much larger, much darker conspiracy. The scene, the castle of Belrus Barony. The young Baron Caspian is profusely thanking our heroes, but his eyes are shadowed with the weight of his barony's poverty. He's so broke he can't even afford to pay the standard fee for the Azure Wolves' help. The embarrassment, the drama. But does our brilliant boy demand payment? Oh, please. He's above such trivialities. Instead, he whips out a mid-grade mana stone he found in the bandit mine. That's right. The very reason the bandits were there. The barony's barren mountains are sitting on a fortune, and they had no idea. The irony is so thick you could build a castle with it. And then, the master stroke. He doesn't just hand it over. Oh no. He proposes a joint venture. The Leston Duchy will help develop the mine in exchange for a stake. It's a deal that provides the barony with security, wealth, and the protection of the Azure Wolves, all while securing a strategic foothold and a new revenue stream for his family. The political genius! He's not just a mad puppy, he's a mercenary mastermind. And he plays it so coy. Oh, the details are for the adults to discuss. The sheer, unmitigated gall. He orchestrated the entire deal and then acts like he's just a simple child. I am cackling. Even the magnificent Lady Seraphina is impressed, noting he's truly his father's son, a business genius wrapped in a warrior's body. The layers? But of course, the moment is interrupted by more chaos in the barony, forcing a rushed but perfectly dramatic farewell. Our wolves must return to their den with their prisoners and their world-changing news. The first mission is over, but the real game is just beginning. A monostone mine, a dark mage conspiracy. The plot thickens like a fine stew. But first, a tender reunion. The magnificent Papa Ronan is here. He's beaming with pride at his brilliant, chaotic son. And our boy Kieran, he's already playing 4D chess, turning a bandit cleanup into a strategic business venture that will secure his family's influence for years to come. The genius, the audacity, he's not just a fighter, he's a visionary. But of course, the sweet family moment is laced with dark omens. The political landscape of the empire is fracturing. The other dukes, the leeches who helped dethrone the old emperor, are getting greedy. The capital is a nest of vipers and the emperor is a mere scarecrow. The stage is set for a power struggle of epic proportions. And through it all, Kieran continues to be an absolute menace to his poor cousin Lucian. He cons him into writing the entire mission report by himself. The manipulation, the sheer, unrepentant laziness. "It's for your own good," he says, with a smirk that could curdle milk. I have never respected a fictional character more. But wait, the final twist. Just as Kieran is finishing his mana training, Commander Valerius arrives with a summons. Grandpa Theron is back from the capital, and he wants to see Kieran immediately. And the reason? A trip to the capital. The heart of the empire, the lion's den, a place dripping with politics, intrigue, and undoubtedly a whole new set of enemies for our mad puppy to terrorize. The call to adventure has been issued. What awaits him in the capital? A formal introduction to the court, a meeting with the feeble emperor, a confrontation with the scheming dukes. The scene? Grandpa Theron's office. It's not a congratulatory party, it's an interrogation. The old wolf is in full patriarch mode, grilling our boy Kieran about his audacious business proposal. "You disgraced the family," he thunders. The uncles are secretly delighted. Papa Ronan is sweating bullets. But does our magnificent protagonist cower? Does he falter? Oh, please. He stands his ground with the poise of a seasoned diplomat. He defends his actions not for personal gain, but for the glory of the family. The perfect, flawless answer, the sheer political genius of it. Theron isn't even mad, he's impressed. The uncle's smiles instantly vanish. The reversal is exquisite. But wait, the main event arrives, a summons from the Emperor himself. The scarecrow on the throne has taken notice of our little hero. A command to appear in the capital. The tension is palpable. And Theron, in a shocking show of softness, gives Kieran an out. "You don't have to go." But our boy? He accepts without hesitation. He sees not a threat, but an opportunity. A chance to step onto the grandest stage of all and cause absolute mayhem. The ambition, the nerve. But the true bombshell is dropped after Kieran leaves. A fragment of monster skin, infused with the very same dark mana used by the malevolent emperor. The revelation that the tyrant of old might still be alive. The horror, the implications, the narrative possibilities. I am vibrating with excitement. And then, a perfect nightcap. The glorious Lady Seraphina crashes Kieran's room with stolen whiskey and a drowsy Lucienne for a final, hilarious drinking session before her departure. The camaraderie, the teasing, the bittersweet farewell. It's the perfect balance of heart and humor. The stage is set for an epic journey to the capital, new enemies, new allies, and mystery that threatens the entire empire. Kieran is about to be unleashed on the unsuspecting high society of Dacus, and I, for one, cannot wait to see the carnage. The scene? A post-negotiation meeting. The sweet, savvy Baron Caspian is back, and he's not just here with thanks, he's here with an offer. He wants to gift a whopping 5% of the Mana Stone Mines shares directly to our young heroes. Not to the family, to the boys personally, the sheer audacity, the forward-thinking genius. He's not just thanking them, he's investing in them. And Papa Ronan is rightfully suspicious. "Why such a lavish gift?" he asks, seeing the political play hidden beneath the gratitude. And Baron Caspian doesn't deny it. He admits he's buying favor with the future of the Leston family, the honesty, the nerve. I am cackling. But the true masterpiece unfolds next. While the adults are finalizing the deal, the cousins have their own negotiation. Lucienne, ever the innocent, doesn't even grasp the value of what he's being given. How much is 5%, he asks. The naivety, the sheer, beautiful cluelessness. And our magnificent Kieran, he pounces like the wolf he is. He manipulates the numbers, strong-arms his cousin, and walks away with a 90-10 split. He's not just a menace, he's a monopolist. He's secured a personal fortune that would make a king blush all before his 14th birthday. The greed, the brilliance, I have never been more proud. And the final cherry on top, his whispered line to his father. It's a good thing that grandfather and the uncles aren't here. The awareness, the cunning. He knows exactly what he's doing and who he needs to hide it from. The mad puppy is no longer just a troublemaker. He's a tycoon in the making. He has the power, the influence, and now the capital to fund any scheme his brilliant, chaotic mind can conceive. The stage is set for a glorious trip to the capital. He's rich, he's powerful, and he's utterly unhinged. The high society of Deaconess will never know what hit them. The scene? A final briefing. Our magnificent Kieran is, of course, already causing trouble, sipping water served by his newly acquired, utterly devoted lackey, Orhan. The rehabilitation is going swimmingly, and Commander Valerius is at his wit's end, already anticipating the sheer, unmitigated chaos 2 unsupervised Leston boys will unleash on the unsuspecting capital. The dread is palpable, but the true meat of the chapter is a private whiskey-soaked meeting between Grandpa Theron and Papa Ronan. The old wolf reveals his true intentions. Sending the boys to the capital isn't just about obeying a summons, it's a test. He wants to see how far his brilliant, monstrous grandson can see into the political abyss. He's throwing Kieran into the deep end to see if he can swim with the sharks, the pressure, the expectations. And Papa Ronan, he's transformed. Once a man uncomfortable in the shadow of his martial family, he now stands confident, declaring his absolute trust in his son. I trust my son, he says, and the weight of that statement shifts the very dynamics of the family, the character growth, the drama. The stakes are crystal clear. The capital is a nest of vipers. The emperor is fearful and manipulable. The other great nobles are scheming, and the Leston family has a target on its back. This trip is a dangerous gambit, but Theron is betting everything on Kieran's potential. The stage is set for a glorious, dramatic, and undoubtedly chaotic debut in the heart of the Empire. Our mad puppy, now backed by a formidable personal fortune and his father's unwavering faith, is about to be unleashed on the capital. The scene? The luxury train car. Our magnificent Kieran is, of course, bantering with the long-suffering Hans, while poor Lucien is snoring like a lumberjack. The camaraderie, the casual disrespect, I am living for it. But our boy is restless. He's already bored of the journey and plotting ways to cause chaos in the capital. He's even considering Hans's terrible advice about courting scandal with noble ladies. The horror, the hilarious miscalculation. But wait! A sudden vibration. His sword, the glorious guillotine, begins to hum with ominous energy. It senses danger. The foreboding is palpable. Our brilliant protagonist immediately goes on high alert, slapping poor Lucien awake and barking orders at Hans. The tension builds. He deduces the threat must be external. He tries to warn them to stop the train. But he's a fraction of a second too late. Boom! An explosion rocks the train. The screen shakes. The sound design is immaculate. Chaos, terror, the cliffhanger of all cliffhangers. Who dared to attack a train protected by the Imperial Seal? What is the goal? Is it assassination? A kidnapping? A message? The plot thickens faster than a bowl of royal oatmeal. The capital awaits. But first, our wolves must survive this ambush. A political nightmare in the Thebe autonomous territory. Mayor Grine is trying to manage a room full of squabbling, greedy council members. A task more difficult than taming a hydra. The bickering, the accusations. It's a symphony of incompetence. And just as he's about to lose his last shred of patience, the bombshell drops. A train from Azerosian Castle has been attacked. The train, the one carrying our beloved Kieran and Lucien. The mayor's reaction, priceless. He starts smoking indoors. When a rule stickler breaks his own rules, you know the world is ending. We're all as good as dead, he says. And he's not wrong. To attack the Leston family is to declare war on the Empire itself. Cut to the wreckage. Our boys are shaken, but miraculously unharmed, thanks to some handy protective magic. But the brilliant Kieran immediately deduces the horrifying truth. This wasn't just an attack, it was treason. The tracks are the Emperor's property. The sheer gall of their enemies takes my breath away. And then, the true danger reveals itself. 30 masked assailants, led by a 6-star knight, emerge from the smoke. They want Kieran alive. They think this makes them safe. Oh, you foolish, foolish people. They have not realized they are not the hunters. They are the prey. In a moment of chilling clarity, our mad puppy grins and realizes the one glorious advantage he holds. They can't kill him, but he can absolutely slaughter them. The stage is set for a bloodbath. A cornered wolf is dangerous enough, but a cornered wolf who has been given permission to bite? It's a slaughter waiting to happen. The scene? A field of utter devastation. Our boy isn't just fighting, he's conducting a symphony of slaughter. While the enemy is hobbled by their orders to capture him alive, Kieran has no such restrictions. He's painting the grass red with Ocean Wolf Sword Art's Form 4. Raging waves, the efficiency, the cold, ruthless precision. He's a force of nature, and his sword, guillotine, is the harbinger of pure, primal fear. And the best part? His brilliant, twisted logic. They can't kill me, but I can absolutely slaughter them. The sheer, breathtaking gall. He turns their greatest constraint into his ultimate weapon. The enemies are frozen not by strategy, but by the soul-deep terror his sword carves into their minds. But wait, a worthy opponent emerges. Zion Hakimi, a 6-star knight from a foreign sultanate. A real threat. He pushes the valiant Hans to the brink, even ready to burn out his own life force. But does our magnificent protagonist wait for the epic duel to conclude? Oh, please? He casually strolls over in the middle of his own killing spree and severs the man's arm mid-attack. The disrespect, the sheer, unmitigated nerve. This seemed like the most urgent situation, he says, as if he's just tidying up. I am cackling. And the final glorious twist, the knight's body was a Trojan horse, rigged with a self-destruction spell. As Hans heroically throws himself over Kieran, a voice, the sword's voice, echoes in his mind, ready to protect its master. The cliffhanger is exquisite. What magic does guillotine hold? Will our boys survive the point-blank explosion? If you enjoyed this tragicomic opera, and how could you not? Do grant us a grand applause, a like, a subscribe. Ring that bell so you don't miss a single moment of our next dramatic recap. The aftermath of the explosion. Thanks to the heroic sacrifice of Hans and the last-minute intervention of a certain chatty sword, our boys are alive. But the revelation is what truly shakes the foundation. Guillotine has an ego, a voice, and the attitude of a disgruntled aristocrat. The banter between master and sword is an absolute masterpiece. Kieran, ever the little chaos demon, immediately starts teasing his sentient weapon, calling it a cursed sword and complaining about its sharp tongue. He even sheathes it just to get the last word. The disrespect. The hilarious, beautiful disrespect. I am living for this dynamic. But beneath the comedy lies crucial lore. The sword reveals it needs to absorb mana from blood to regain its strength and communicate. It's not a curse, it's a feature. And it's been aware of Kieran's reincarnated soul since the very beginning. The plot. It thickens. Meanwhile, poor Lucien is dealing with the heavy weight of his first kill, a necessary but painful step in his growth. And the valiant Hans is recovering, rightfully wary of their rescue by the Thebe vigilantes. The mystery deepens as they identify the 6-star knight as Zion Hakimi from the Qajar Sultanate, a move that makes no logical sense and risks all-out war. The web of intrigue stretches across borders, and our boys are stuck right in the middle of it. The chapter ends with our battered heroes arriving at the glittering, prosperous city of Thebe. But as Kieran so aptly puts it, damn, it's too fancy. A storm is coming to this city, and the mad puppy and his talking sword are at the eye of it. The glittering city of Thalin welcomes our young wolf, Seal Arden, heir to the Duke's house, but behind all that luxury, corruption thicker than perfume. The mayor, Lord Grevin, rushes to greet them, all smiles and sweat. Thank the heavens you're safe, he says, as if the gods suddenly care about politics. The man's terrified. The Duke's train was just bombed. If anyone had died, Thalen would have burned by morning. Seal's expression doesn't change. You don't look like the man Hans described, he says, which, in noble language, basically means, you look suspicious. Poor Grevin tries to laugh it off, bowing and babbling about loyalty, but Seal cuts through the act like a blade. Relax, Mayor. I didn't come to hang you, unless you'd prefer to kneel. Grevin quickly sits. Smart man. Then the talk turns serious. The explosion wasn't magic, no traces of mana. just simple mining explosives, meaning someone smuggled them in. And Thalen is known for smugglers. Before Grevin can defend himself, his secretary bursts in. Mayor, the capital's sending the director of the National Tax Service, Gale Perron himself. Grevin freezes. Everyone in the Empire knows that name, the demon of the tax office. And worst of all, he's Seal's grandfather. Seal just smiles. Do you know my family motto, Mayor? Repay kindness tenfold, and debt 100.